GUP-SHUP. You must be wondering that who's the guest from GURSEEMA'S GUP-SHUP this time? Yes, a beautiful soul, a motherly figure, and a hamper of knowledge. Who has poured the knowledge to generations and generations. And I am overwhelmed to welcome her, Mrs. Amita Shangari, at the GUP-SHUP show of our studio Friday the Guest Day. Very warm welcome, Mrs. Amita. Thank you so much for being here. It's a pleasure to have such a learned personality at the show of GURSEEMA'S GUP-SHUP.
Thank you, Gurseema, and the pleasure is all mine. I'm so honored to be here.
That's your sweetness.
No, it's my pleasure. So let us start with
Yes,
GUP-SHUP.
let's start with the GUP-SHUP. I am very eager, because when such a personality gonna come, GURSEEMA really want to jot down certain points about themselves. So I got to know that, yes, with an experienced, renowned teacher who's honestly, you have said it's about 30 years or more than 30 years into the education system.
More than 3 decades.
And how you managed to be very honest, मैम थक नहीं गए सी 30 साल एक कोई चैप्टर्स पर. You dealt with science.
Yes.
So yes, science is a quite practical subject, but science is not always a very, very pleasant subject for all the children. So it's that you need to maintain that aura of your, education and knowledge between these children so that they should enjoy doing it. 30 years of experience means that Mrs. Amita Shangari, it was a big time. So it was never like this कि you felt, आज यार सो जाते हैं, क्या वही पढ़ाना है, न्यूटन का लॉ पढ़ाना है, एप्पल नीचे क्यों आया, ऊपर क्यों नहीं रह गया. So you never thought कि यार रहने दो, दफा करो for some time.
Really, sometimes we do feel that isn't it monotonous? But you see, Gurseema, when we start teaching, when I particularly start teaching, the teaching differs from one period to the other period.
Though the concept remains same.
Yes, the way I introduce the chapter becomes different.
Okay.
And it flows. I don't, plan something that I am going to teach like this in this class and then I go on, repeating.
So it means somewhat same as to the system of the GURSEEMA'S GUP-SHUP, because here nothing is planned.
Yes.
We don't know. It's
There's
only the
no
few of
script.
the no script, but few of the information regarding the guest is here. And often on I see what else things she has done, and then immediately the questions have been asked. So you mean to say that it's not that some specific lectures are prepared, some specific design is अब ये कराया है, अब ये ऐसा ऐसा ऐसा.
See, science is a, very practical subject.
It is a practical subject.
And I believe number one is learning by doing.
Learning by doing.
And
Okay.
number two, I correlate the learning or the concept taught with, everyday life situations. So, when now, this pandemic has started, so the life situations have also become quite different.
Very.
So, now our, the way has changed because we have started presentation through the
PPTs and
videos,
online videos,
right? Yes.
all that.
So, and then we are learning new ways.
That's
Also-
fine, but I am interrupting you, sorry, in between. But is it that you are quite confident while you are delivering certain online lecture, certain, demonstration is going on through the PPTs? Do you find that children, holding their mobiles at the different places, is that they are taking the lesson seriously?
Yes, this question is always there, but now we have started motivating them and we are also educating the parents side by side that, these are the, stakeholders are now parents, teachers and then student.
Okay.
Because now the child is not in front of us in the classroom. I
Right.
can tell you, Gurseema, look at me. Gurseema, take your copy. Start
Why are
writing.
you looking here and there? What's
Yeah.
your issue? Why are you disturbing your
Yes.
neighbor child? So it is not possible, you know.
Now the child is sitting at home and the camera is off, so maybe he is doing something else.
Right.
So these
And you
things-
know, because of the, I'm sorry I'm interrupting, but because of this time, whatever is going on, it was like अब वो लगता है कि पुराना ज़माना था जब स्कूल की यूनिफॉर्म बॉटल डालकर टिफ़िन डालकर बैग डालकर वी यूज्ड टू गो टैपिंग फीट टैप करते टू रीचिंग टू दी क्लासरूम्स स्कूल गेट. But now they may be wearing their pajamas, they may be wearing their trousers, they may be sitting in the night suit, or I have seen my cousin, you know, he was wearing a knicker, a shorts below, नाइट सूट में डालने वाली शॉर्ट और ऊपर से लगा ली वाइट अपनी शर्ट इतनी लगा ली टाई. आई सेड व्हाट द हेल इज दिस. Worry not, Didi, this much the camera gonna catch. Yes. So it has become, you know, I find this is another disadvantage that children don't take anything seriously.
You see, it's not always that. There are students who are very serious, very committed.
They are always.
Yeah. Although they are not wearing uniform, so we do not create a lot of fuss about the wearing of uniform. But yes, it is mandatory for the students to keep their cams on. Number one. Then you know, side by side when we are teaching and we are telling them to note down something, and sometimes we tell them to take a note on the left hand side of the book, and after that I make sure that they send a PDF of all their classwork to me.
Okay.
So they make a PDF in which they click the pics of the notes which they have taken on their book or whatever they have noted
so
down.
So you try to make cross check the things whatever is been done. The way it's been done in the classes initially.
Yes.
You check the classworks to check the homework. So in the same way you got the in a channel in between all these things to.
And even I tell them, okay, as you see, I am holding my book and it is very clearly visible to you.
Right.
So your copy, your classwork should be visible to me. So kindly show me. So they start showing. But yes, there is a percentage of students who are taking, advantage of this situation.
Yes. But then I feel even at that time when the system wasn't like this, still the percentage was there. Maybe a bit less, but percentages was there who used to take a disadvantage while sitting in the class also. They were not so attentive. They hardly used to listen. They used to make fun of the education system. So the things were there also.
Yes, there are always two sides of a coin.
Exactly.
And we should always look at the positive side. Now online education, if you ask me, and I have also started offline. So when I am teaching now offline, I am feeling a bit lost. Because in online, I am able to show the PPT. I am able to show the presentation. Right? We are using
so you are enjoying this mode of education more than the previous one.
Yes, because whatever is there in the PPT, the same thing cannot be drawn by hand on the board by the teacher.
Right.
And we have lot of material available which we can immediately share. We can even Google and we can immediately do the screen sharing. So all the things, they have their own positives and own
negative points. That's true.
And one motto is there that pick up the best wherever you go.
Right.
So we have to pick up the best of both modes, that is online as well as offline. And I think the future is for blended mode of education or a hybrid mode of education.
Very true.
Where online and offline go hand in hand.
So as you said, okay, you justified the system, whatever the present is going on. And to be very honest, she's the one who spoke so confidently and so positively about whatever the present system is going on. Otherwise, I have been through the interaction with the ladies, with the teachers, who always used to say, ki Gurseema, oh Gandhi Bandi, whatever is in the live class, you can read the faces of the children, but here it's not that thing. So, but she's the one who gave a very quite modern perception of the present era of education that is going on. Okay, coming to my next question. How many years you have invested in the profession of teaching? Narrate an unforgettable experience at your workplace. I know that it's been years and years that she is into education, so there must be numerous of things that you can share. But there is one incident, could be the one student long back or maybe recently, that the story, that the incident always, got that special place in your heart?
Okay.
Something interesting, please.
There are many incidents, right? The students whom I have taught, now they are, well-known doctors, well-known engineers, orthopedicians, architects,
Architects,
teachers,
must
and
be in the civil exams also.
successful businessmen, right? But there are, few incidents which I would like to relate. Now, one of the incidents is that my student, I would like to name the child Ajay Jurangal.
Which class?
Now, he was in class 10, and at present he is a renowned doctor and he is in America.
Wow.
And an educationist, Rubal Tuli, my student, and Manek. So these are the students, Amandeep Rayat.
So these all are now in abroad?
No, Rubal Tuli is here and he is running Tuli's the academy, and he is a very successful teacher.
Okay.
And a very good orator, very pleasing personality. And Manik Sehgal is a renowned orthopedician in Chamba.
Okay.
So what happened that I took Manik and Jurangal was not there. Rubal, Manek, Amandeep and Manmeet Tuli, a known architect. I travelled with them to City Montessori School, Lucknow.
Okay.
For a competition.
For a competition.
So I hope Rubal will forgive me for relating the incident.
Never mind, Rubal, it means you are in the heart of your teacher. So, and that is the most important thing. That's why immediately when I asked, your name was first to be quoted.
So you know what happened? The hospitality by that school was excellent, and we were given a room, separate room for the teacher and the students, and they were in my room only. And I told Rubal, you go and take bath. In the meantime, another teacher was there and we started clicking pics. And you know what happened? Rubal just wrapped a towel around him and he came out in the towel and he said, no, I also want to be the part of this photograph. And he was there in his towel only.
Okay.
So this was a beautiful incident. It is
That's how,
the
lovely memories that have been nurtured between the, the motherly figures of the teachers and the students. So the bond was something unique and special.
Yes. And these children, they stayed at my home during the night because we were to go by train, let us say today evening. Then due to the rain and bad weather, the train cancelled. And that evening I did not send the children home, and then they stayed with me, and next morning we boarded the train for Lucknow.
So you have got such a sweet and lovely heart, because otherwise the teachers will always feel burdened. Why to keep the children here? Let's ask them to go back to their homes, and in the morning they will come.
Yeah, and Rubal's mother gave us a lot of food to be eaten during, the journey.
During the journey.
And we enjoyed a lot. And one more very sweet incident. I have switched on from one to the other school. In many schools I have worked. So when I left Manav Public School, so I joined DAV Public. And they said that we want you to be there in DAV, but we don't have any vacancy. So I joined as a nursery class teacher.
Ah.
Yes, and my children asked me, Mama, how will you teach nursery? I said, no problem. So Gurseema, what I used to do is, daily when it is dispersal time, I used to tell my students that today you have to go and you have to touch feet of your parents. Then one day my student was there, Ujjwal Sharma, and a beautiful boy. Now he must be 18 years old. So he was very fond of me, and if I remain absent some day, so he used to be very upset. So that day I told them that you have to go home and you have to tell your mom, Mama, I am hungry, give me something to eat. You don't have to speak in Hindi or Punjabi, you have to speak in English. So, the nursery children, they are very much obedient. Yes, ma'am. And next morning, when I entered the class, Ujjwal Sharma was there, standing near my table, and he was having a question. Ma'am ji, अगर hungry ना लगी हो तो what I have to say? So I had a hearty laugh.
Hungry na lagi ho.
Yes. And there is one more incident of that time only, if you would like.
Sure.
You see, in DAV we used to have assembly for say half an hour, and during days of this October, so we were to play Ramayana.
Acha.
And I was given the role of Ravan.
Acha.
So, I was sitting in the class wearing a black kurta with, lot of embroidery like a king. And I was, making my mustaches. And the kids were saying, ma'am is going to become a giant monster. And a child who was there in my class, his mother was going to play Sita.
Okay.
So now when the scene started and I said, Hum Lankesh hai, and I dragged Sita, and the child started crying. Monster has taken my mom, monster. So I have to remove my makeup and say, no Ujjwal, I am not monster.
I am your
Amita
teacher
ma'am."
only.
Yeah. So these
Lovely,
are the
sweet
incidents.
memories. The booklet
Yes.
of, it was so heartfelt and heart-touching experience that I had in this chit chat.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Amita ma'am. It was wonderful to have you here. Now, at the end, I just want any message that you would like to give, especially to the girls of the NGO mission, because you know that here we deal with the
Yes.
education of the needy children from the different states of the country.
I would like to tell the children, especially the girls, that dear students, dear girls, the success is not something, it is like a pyramid. So the base is wider and you have to work very hard to reach to that, pinnacle of success. And
Pinnacle of
at
success.
the top, there is very less space. And you literally have to compete. And the other thing is that you should be very positive. Never think that you are weak, because whatever you think, your thoughts are manifested. You are what you think. So always think nothing is impossible.
Even the word impossible
Yes,
says,
yes.
I am possible.
I am possible.
So that's really, now few questions, which I just wrote, halki fulki baatein. Jalebi, laddu, rasgulla and gulab jamun. What is the right for your mouth watering?
Actually, all I have is sweet tooth, but jalebi.
Jalebi is like something very
Yeah.
tempting.
Yes.
And in your family also, your other members also, they have the same that feeling of the jalebi.
Yeah, they all are very foodie. Whether it is jalebi or it is.
And in Amritsar, which jalebi wala is the most that you like?
It is in my market only. Ranjit Avenue C Block, Sharma. Sharma, he is from near Golden Temple. So he
Because
makes-
I have heard the jalebi wala famous near the Golden Temple.
Yeah, that same Sharma jalebi wala is in Ranjit
In
Avenue.
Ranjit
C
Avenue,
Block.
C Block.
Yeah, and he is having jalebi as well as amrati and gulab jamun.
And you love to have it.
Ah, sure.
So you have got a sweet tooth.
Yeah.
You have got a sweet tooth. And now, as far as because of the pandemic, the system is different. People are working on laptop. So much of the you can say the technology has been intervened to this entire process. But at your time, when you were a student, relish an experience, share a relish experience with us. At that time, you must be having the copy pen, or your elders must be having that slate and whatever with what you write.
Yeah. My time, I remember I have used even takti, patti.
But that
and
is what
kalam.
with the kalam.
Yes.
So you
with
used to
kalam.
write with the kalam and takti.
Yeah, I have.
Takti is a wooden base, and
Yes.
the kalam is it's a sharpened pen. You dip it in
Dip.
the ink a blue black ink and then you write it.
Yes.
And on the takti, that wooden board, you can wipe it later on with the wet cloth and again rewrite it. I have got some experience about it. That's why I thought to share.
Yeah, it is a special type of mud. We call it gachini. Then we used to wipe it off with that, and then we used to draw.
So it was like the same time like we जैसे हम मूवीज में देखते हैं वो पुरानी पाठशाला जमीन पे बैठ गए दरी बिछी है टीचर इज देयर एक टेबल है और धीरे धीरे चलने वाला पंखा चलता है और आप लोग वहाँ पर पढ़ते थे तो wasn't it very very hot because आजकल तो क्लासरूम में एसीज भी लग गए हैं you know the system is too different तो वो उस टाइम की एक्सपीरियंस में being a children or being a children at this what is the difference you find pros and cons.
Yes, you know at that time, yeah, there were no ACs. AC was not there at all, and TV was very less. So at that time, it wasn't that hot. I would like to tell you because nowadays, all kacha places have been turned into concrete jungles.
Right.
You see, 35 years back, Ranjit Avenue was totally, plantations were there.
It was a jungle sort of
right?
place.
So these sort of concrete structures, they trap the heat during the day and emit that heat during night. So
and it was like hot. You were in Amritsar?
No, I am from Jammu.
तो वो जो आप बात बता रहे हो वो जम्मू की
yes.
Okay. So जम्मू में सर्दी भी थोड़ी ठंड तो होती होगी.
Yeah, that time it was there, and in the month of October we used to use quilts. But now you see, due to this
weather is changed.
Weather change and greenhouse effect.
So Jammu is a beautiful place.
Yeah, it is. So I am from Jammu. My education is from Jammu. And okay. I have been married in Amritsar.
You have been married to...
Yeah, but I have spent, more time in Amritsar now because I was 21
when you got married.
Yeah, so now
so it's a hamper of a huge experiences, 30 years of the education. And it's been how many years to your marriage, ma'am?
I got married in 83. So now this is 2021.
It comes out to be...
Now you have to calculate because I am a science teacher, GURSEEMA.
You're not a maths teacher. Let the audience calculate because GURSEEMA is just a poet. They know.
So this is a jumble,
You need to sort out, guys, how many years, and you can see the enthusiasm and the zeal this lady has shown in today's GUP-SHUP show and at the set of the GUP-SHUP. It was so energetic and so good. So my message through this GUP-SHUP with Mrs. Amita Shangari is that guys, come on. Whether be young, whether be middle-aged, whether be bit elder, but explore your world. The live example is here. She is so smart and with the life's the best art. So thank you Mrs. Shangari for being here. It was really good. We had a wonderful time. And I hope that this GUP-SHUP will reach to the hearts of many people.
Yes.
Thank you.
Always be young at heart.
Yes. Young at heart.
Young at heart. Years doesn't matter at all.
वो कहते हैं ना उसमें जिंदगी की उम्र में क्या रखा है कुछ गिनती है कुछ सिफर है बातें तो हम बहुत करते हैं लेकिन उम्र बीती जा रही इसका क्यों फिक्र है So, सिफर हो एक हो दो गिनती भी हो इसका फिक्र नहीं करना चाहिए It's all the passion that we share. So let's share a strong, good vibes at the studio of GURSEEMA'S GUP-SHUP. Come on guys, जितने impress होंगे.
I would also like to quote one share here a couplet.
Sure.
कि ऐसे बनो कि आपको दुनिया फॉलो करे हम अकेले ही चले थे हम अकेले ही चले थे जानिबे मंजिल मगर लोग साथ आते गए कारवां बनता गया
लोग साथ आते गए और कारवां बनता गया
तो कारवां बनाना है आपको
So this is what a strong and a positive teacher is there to share with you. So I suppose मैम के जितने भी स्टूडेंट्स जहाँ भी जो ऑफिसर्स बन गए सेटल हो गए बिजनेस एंटरप्रेन्योर्स बन गए होम मेकर्स बन गई लेडीज still she is there to share the hamper of knowledge with you. Thank you so much ma'am. It was wonderful to have you here. So guys take care. GURSEEMA will meet you again next week Friday the guest day at your own show, GURSEEMA'S GUP-SHUP. Thank you.